Ravel Phoenix is the younger sister of Ravel Phoenix, the youngest daughter of the Phoenix clan, and a former member of her brother's nobility. Like her older brother, she has inherited the powers of the Phoenix, and possesses the power of fire, wind, and immortality. Ravel is a young girl with long golden hair and deep blue eyes. Her mane is pulled back in two puffy pigtails, secured with blue ribbons. At first, her outfit consisted of a light lilac-toned dress with darker purple accents and a blue bow in the front. Behind her, 3 extensions of feathers that mimic the tail of a phoenix protrude, complementing her fiery wings and giving her the appearance of the mythical bird. After her transfer to Kuo Academy, she adopted the institution's signature uniform, with the addition of a black sweater over her dress shirt. In the anime, Ravel wears an elegant pink dress with white details and a magenta bow on her chest. For her brother's engagement party, she chooses a purple dress paired with black gloves and boots, complemented by a pink folding fan. Ravel is a well-educated, reserved and refined young woman, although she proved to be initially firm with those she dislikes. She is also stubborn and sometimes childish, showing a penchant for wanting other people's possessions. Her loyalty to her older brother is strong, always diligently obeying his authority. She has unwavering faith in her brother's power, firmly believing that no one could defeat him. However, after witnessing his overwhelming defeat at the hands of Isse, she begins to feel attracted to him and eventually falls in love with him as the series progresses, even though his personality is somewhat tsundere. In reality, she doesn't mind becoming one of Isse's servants or his concubine as long as she can remain by his side. She is most likely willing to bargain her position to become one of Isse's lieutenants once he obtains a title of nobility, as she only wishes to be useful to him. Eventually, she takes great pride in being Isse's steward and thus continues to study diligently so that she can serve as his support in the future. Despite her young age, she is extremely intelligent and insightful, able to understand the dynamics of any situation and anticipate Isse's thoughts just by looking at him. Ravel is the youngest daughter of the 4 Phoenix siblings and the only descendant of the Phoenix family. At some point prior to the series, she assumed the role of the bishop of the vertical channeling. She initially finds herself on the side of the protagonist as a member of her brother's team, then joins the research club of the occult and later becomes Isse's administrator, eventually ascending to bishop of the same, being considered part of his harem. The Awakening of the Crimson Emperor Dragon. Ravel makes her first entry in Volume 2 as she visits the Occult Research Club in an attempt to persuade Rias to reconsider her arranged marriage to her brother Razor. She later reappears alongside him in the sorting game against Rias, being one of the members yet to be eliminated. However, she is forced to withdraw after Isse attacks her with the boosted gear combined with Yudokiba's sword birth. Later, we see her at her brother's engagement party, observing Isse's victory over him. Dragon Emperor's Birth of the Chess Dragon. Ravel makes her debut in Volume 5 during the Young Demon Gathering, accompanied by Isabella, informing Isse of her brother's condition and revealing that she is now a free bishop after being exchanged by her mother from her brother's nobility. It is at this point that he begins calling Isse with honorifics Isse-sama, as per his request. In Volume 6, Ravel briefly appears at the TV station where Team Gremory was, handing Isse his homemade cake and walking away from him due to her embarrassment at his flirting. Isse then praises her excellent cooking, which causes jealousy in the other girls. The Heroic Dragon of Breasts. In Volume 7, Ravel assists Isse in another of her campaigns as the Dragon of Breasts. At the end of Volume 9, Azazel mentions that Ravel is transferring to Kuo Academy as a freshman. Ravel makes his entrance in Volume 10 as a freshman alongside Gasper and Kaneko. He has a love-slash-hate relationship with Kaneko, later transferring to the Iota residence with Isse and the rest of the girls to spend more time with him. At the beginning of Volume 11, she becomes Isse's manager in the underworld at Surzex Lucifer's request, as Isse had gained a lot of popularity among the children thanks to her latest show. Later, at the end of the volume, she begins to cry as she realizes that Isse had died. This is because she saw Isse's evil piece. In Volume 12, she is comforted by her 2 brothers, who come to cheer her up. Then, along with the rest of the Hidden Research Club, she celebrates Isse's reappearance, congratulating him on his promotion to the middle class. In the midst of the celebration, she mentions that she wants to go on a date with him. The Legend of the Breasted Dragon and his anime animated companions. In Volume 14, a dispute begins with Kaneko over who has the right to sit on Isse's lap. Then, as everyone consults with Mephistopheles about pacts with mages, Ravel warns about the street mages and their ties to the Chaos Brigade in connection with the fake Phoenix Tears, and that they might be targeting her. Ravel helps Isse choose a mage, and is later kidnapped along with Kaneko and Gaspard during an attack on Kuo Academy during school hours. She and her fellow first-year students are rescued by the combined forces of the Gremory and Citri groups. After meeting with Isse, she states that she never lost faith in him and believed that he would save them. In Volume 15, Ravel continues to help Isse find a mage to make a pact with, at which point Kuroka suggests that Lu Fei might be right for him. However, Ravel rejects her due to her previous affiliation with the Chaos Brigade. Despite this, he interviews Lu Fei and discovers that she meets all the criteria for the role. In Volume 16, he bids farewell to the members of the Occult Research Club and Benia, as they go to Romania to help Rias and Yudo. She also reminds Isse about her appearance, as an administrator would. After the meeting for the formation of D times D ends, Ravel accepts Isse's request to make a pact with Lu Fei. In Volume 17, he oversees Isse's contract ceremony with Lu Fei, obtaining a successful 5-year pact. He also accompanies the Occult Research Club to the underworld to participate in school activities organized by Sona Citri, sleeping next to Isse after winning a rock-paper-scissors game. In Volume 22, she attends Isse's promotion ceremony, congratulating him on finally becoming a high-class demon. During the meeting, Lady Phoenix exchanges Ravel as her bishop, officially making her his second bishop. Later in the same volume, she is seen as part of Isse's team, Latent Truth Security team, fulfilling her role as bishop and trainer of the entire team. In Volume 23, she participates in the showdown against the Brave Saints during the Azazel Cup. After a close fight, Isse's team is defeated by Score, and Ravel, in her role as administrator and coach, cheers up the team and dispels the depressive atmosphere. Later, Isse takes her aside to console her in private, where she cries into his chest, releasing all her frustration and sadness at feeling that she had failed the man she loves. This scene shows the closeness they have developed with each other, being able to understand each other's feelings just by looking at each other. In Volume 24, she supports her best friend and rival, Kaneko. During the Soul Reaper's attack, she fights alongside Isse and Rosweiss. After the victory, Isse develops new breast dragon abilities, including the Python, where he uses Ravel's breasts, who is willing to help, as a phone to psychically communicate with Kaneko and Kuroka. In Volume 25, he participates in Hayadu Isse's team's confrontation against the gods Vidar and Apollo during the Azazel Cup. During the battle, he demonstrates the Phoenix clan's characteristic regeneration by regenerating half of his body after an attack. Shin High School DxD / True High School DxD. In Volume 1, it is shown how Isse establishes a small demon work agency with his entire entourage, including Ravel, whom he appoints as the agency's vice president. In the same volume, it is explained how Ravel arranges Isse's schedule so that he can devote time to all his fiancées, acting firmly with Isse's girlfriends so that they respect the shifts to sleep with him. When the situation gets out of hand, she joins the others and demands her place next to him. In Volume 2, Ravel serves as the strategist and trainer of Security's team, as well as her role as administrator, buying land on a mountain and building a luxurious vacation home there, which they use for a preparation camp before the showdown against Rias Gremory. She oversees Ingvild's training and indicates the improvements needed for each before the showdown. Later, Isse tells her about his conversation with Grafia during the bath, and Ravel, in her role as administrator, supports Isse's decision and praises him for acting like a true king. Isse comments on his preference for a position like Azazel's over any other, and Ravel reaches out to take his hand, assuring him that she will always serve him no matter what position he holds or side he chooses. In Volume 3, Ravel is part of the second-year group that travels on a field trip to Kyoto, along with Kaneko Tujo, Gaspar Vladli, Ingvild Leviathan, Ruruko Nimura, Naikiri Uryu, and Malarka Vordenberg. They are responsible for protecting the entrances to hidden Kyoto from attacks by the Underworld Alliance. In Volume 4, he witnesses the game between Vala's team and the first Sun Wukong. He then accompanies Isse along with Ingvild and Rosweiss to meet with Lu Fei Pendragon to discuss the wizard-demon contract between Isse and the Mage. During an attack by a fake Drake, Isse is injured by the new Longinus, who changes his personality. In the battle in London, Ravel is part of the team that confronts Hades' army, then assists the Celestial Dragons along with DxD in the battle against the two remaining gods of the Underworld Alliance. After Hades' defeat, the members of DXD are promoted as a reward for their achievements, and Ravel acquires her evil piece with the idea of beginning to form her own entourage, while maintaining her position as Isse's servant and administrator. Later, she meets with Isse and Lefay to arrange the terms of their contract, but they are interrupted by a party honoring Isse for becoming a super demon and a transcendentalist. During the party, Ravel eats alongside Kaneko as Isse watches her smile and claims he has unfinished business with her, assuring her that he will make his manager happy. Special stories. Ravel has participated and been mentioned in many additional high school DXD stories. She has been seen accompanying Isse to important meetings or while visiting allies, always advising him as his second-in-command. In the DX volumes, Isse interrogates Sona Citri's entourage about what they think of the members of the Occult Research Club. Ravel receives praise from the student council for her good grades and excellent performance as an administrator, and Isse is asked to consider having Ravel serve on the student council, although her response does not seem to have been positive. During the confrontation between Hayadu Isse's team and Sona Citri, Ravel overcomes the strategies of the Citri heiress, displaying a more decisive and competitive attitude. He is able to use more aggressive attacks and somewhat dirty strategies capable of affecting the mood of his enemies, such as reading in front of thousands of people the erotic yaoi novel that Tsubaki Shinra was secretly writing, where Isse and Kiba were the main characters. In Azazel's special, where Isse's children prevent a future threat, Azazel meets a small group of the 30-plus children Sekiryutai had with his harem, including Robert Anna Hayadu, daughter of Isse and Ravel, confirming that they will marry in the future. According to Azazel, Robert Anna physically resembles her mother, but leaves aside her tsundere attitude, although she inherits her admiration for her father from Ravel, being teased by her brothers for always being daddy's little princess. Immortality. Although this ability is not yet shown, as a member of the Phoenix clan, he likely shares his family's regeneration abilities, being able to regenerate lost limbs and recover from wounds instantly. Fire. Coming from a family that represents the Phoenix, Ravel is capable of using fire-based attacks. In the manga, she demonstrates that she is able to blow off half of her brother Razor's head with a single attack. Flight. Being a demon of the Phoenix clan, Ravel can fly with her fire wings. Magic power. Being a bishop, Ravel can be assumed to have an impressive amount of magical powers. Expert tactician. Ravel has also proven herself to have strategist traits, taking note of various fighters and giving her a new way to use Triana mode, Draconic Bishop. According to Razor, the reason he turned Ravel into one of his servants is because he wanted a girl with the characteristics of a Muto, a younger sister, in his harem. This is later expanded upon in one of the manga chapters, in which he also states that he wanted a tsundere type. According to Wikipedia, tsundere is a character that describes a person whose behavior is cold and hostile towards another person, but after a while shows his warm, sensitive, and friendly side. According to the visual book, his height is 153 centimeters 5 feet. Ravel's body measurements are B85 cm, W59 cm, H84 cm, B33, W23, H33 in, and his height is 153 centimeters 5 feet 0 inches. Ravel's birthday is June 3rd. While her breasts were said to be slightly larger than Asia's, visually her breasts have gone from being as small as Kaneko's to being slightly smaller than Zenobia's, seen in both the anime and the novel's illustrations. It had later been confirmed that this was an error by the illustrator, Mayama Zero. Ravel and Kaneko have a love-hate relationship, considering each other best friends as well as rivals in love. This is because they both enjoy being undermined by Isse and fight for his attention. Isse often compares them to the classic comic battle of a chick versus a kitten. Ravel shares many similarities with Graphia Lucifuge. Both serve the men they love in two ways, as part of their entourages and in work settings, Graphia as maid, Ravel as manager and vice president. Both are the second in command of their respective groups and act in a strict and very effective way when it comes to controlling their irresponsible kings and bringing order to their crazy entourages. Ravel is the character who has been transferred the most times between entourages, first with his brother, then with his mother, and currently with Isse. Despite being a member of the anti-disaster DXD team, she was not promoted like the rest of her teammates, being that Zenobia, Asia, and Rossweiss were turned into high-class demons. Ravel did not become a supreme-class demon. Instead, she was given her evil piece, which she was already entitled to by birth. Ravel seems to keep track of the women he has relationship with isse, as well as those who are potential suitors. In the light novels, Ravel is commonly used as a narrative resource when it comes to giving information to the readers, being that she always accompanies isse when something is asked or new information is required. Ravel usually explains these things to isse and consequently to the reader through whispers. Despite not being the heiress of her clan, unlike Rias, Sona, or Sikvera, Ravel is anyway known throughout the underworld as a demon princess. This is thanks to being the only daughter of Lord and Lady Phoenix. Thanks to this, she has been referred to as Phoenixheim Sama or Ravelheim Sama. Ravel has the habit of calling other people with the honorific Sama, this either with allies or enemies that she sees superior to herself. This point of view is not only based on strength or power, but also in the romantic, calling Asia and Zenobia under this honorific, by the fact of being isse's partner. All the clothes that have been seen of Ravel in the light novel have a characteristic that allows to relate her with the phoenix, as seen in illustrations, manga, and anime, as the tail on her dress that simulates the phoenix. She has also been seen using keychains, patches, and pendants, in bags, hats, shoes, etc., with a small bird similar to a chick, but has the tail of 3 feathers of the phoenix. I hope you liked the video. If you want me to bring a video about your anime character, comment it. Do not forget to check the videos of the channel. See you in the next video.